What's going on, family? Today we talking Power Book 3, and I'm gonna break down why one of my favorite characters, Uncle Marvin, will pass away in season 3. And it's really three things that helped me figure this out. I'm gonna break it all down. Make sure you subscribe if this your first time here and click that like button. Now, if you've been watching my reviews on all the powers, you know Uncle Marvin and Uncle Lulu are two of my favorite characters because they remind me of my uncles, all right? So I hate that Uncle Marvin is going to go this season. Now, one of the main reasons why I know it's going to be him is because each season, Jukebox loses somebody close to her. That is part of her storyline. That is part of the reasons that she start changing more and more. We see Jukebox, she's still going to the schools, right? They still mentioning her going to military or being a cop. They mentioning that throughout each of the seasons. We see she haven't really did anything that's too crazy, but she's going to change, and eventually she's going to start becoming the Jukebox that we knew in the original Power. And if you've been paying attention, she loses somebody close to her every season. In season 1, it was Nicole. In season 2, it was her mom right at the end, remember? In season 3, it will be her father. And after this, by season 4, we gonna be seeing a different version of Jukebox. And it goes hand in hand with reason number 2, which is Uncle Marvin's storyline. See, when they write characters, they write them either one or two ways, typically when you're dealing with main characters on the show. They do it like how they did Ghost, where he was a beloved character, right? And then they know they about to take him out, so they start having them do things that make you not like the character as much, right? Even though we still like Ghost regardless, but they were showing him do things that we go, man, that don't seem like Ghost, when he grabbed up Tasha, or he started yelling at his son crazy, and he was just making moves where they wanted us to go as the audience, we don't like him as much. So when they knock him off, we don't react too poorly to him passing. So that's one feeling they want you to have. The other feeling is Uncle Marvin's situation, right? Remember, Uncle Marvin is a guy that started out with problems with his family. Remember him and Lulu? Uncle Lulu, they used to go at it with each other. Now they all good. They able to have conversations, have drinks. They ain't got no problems. Remember him and Ra? He was the big brother that messed up and she had to take over, and it was a little tension there. Well, right now, he's at the table with Ra. She's able to tell him everything, right? They are in a great space. Him and Jukebox. I mean, it was a point where he was choking her up, slamming her around the room. Look at the position that they are in now. They in a great space. Him and Kanan always been good. So he's now in a great space with everybody in the family. And then that's when they take a character out. So they show you a character being in a negative space. Then they write him to where he's in a great space, to where everybody's like, man, Uncle Marvin finally in a good space. And then they take him out to get a emotional response from the audience and keep you engaged. All right. This happens in all types of series, different movies. This is just something that they do, and I notice as I watch and critique different things. So this is the storyline that I believe they are going with Uncle Marvin. And then the last reason is the direction of the show. See, Power Book 3 can actually go longer than the original Power. It can actually go longer than Power Book 4 Force. It can go just as long as Power Book 2, if not longer, because we know how Kanan's story ends, but they can basically go up into Kanan going to jail. You understand? So they can do a lot of seasons, and eventually we gonna have to move away from Kanan being younger with the family around him to him not having that protection, being out on his own and trying to navigate the street game without having his uncles with him, without having his mom over him. And he is finally the top person in his world, right? He might be working for Breeze or doing something like that, but as far as his family goes, he wouldn't have to answer to nobody. He's a man. And with that being said, they gonna have to start knocking off these characters that protected him when he was younger, which is his two uncles and his mother. I don't think Ra will go this season. All right, we know she's trying to get out of the game, but I don't think she would go this season. Even though she do fall with Jukebox storyline, where she would be somebody that close to Jukebox, but I just don't think it'd be her this season. And then I think Uncle Lulu is probably the obvious answer that a lot of people would think would go this season, but I think he's gonna stay around too, and they gonna continuously write the Kanan Uncle Lulu versus Ra storyline. I think they're gonna keep going with that storyline and use Uncle Marvin to benefit the Jukebox character. So because of those three things, remember, Jukebox storyline, her losing somebody each season. Season 1, Nicole, overdose. Season 2, mom passing away at the end. Season 3, I think it'll be her father. And then the second reason was because of Uncle Marvin's storyline, with him being in a good place with every other cast member that's within the family. And then the third reason was just the direction of the show and how long Power Book 3 can actually go. And with it going so long, well, they're going to have to get rid of these characters, because think about the people they still got to introduce. We don't know who Breeze is yet, right? We ain't even been introduced to a young Ghost, a young Tommy. They have to introduce those characters, develop those characters, and they can't develop Ghost and Tommy from a standpoint of them being weaker characters than Kanan, right? Because even though I do believe Kanan will be in charge of them at first, they still want to write Tommy as a powerful character because Force is still going on. They still want to write Ghost as a powerful character because he kicked everything off, right? So it's going to take time for them to develop those characters too. You see what I'm saying? So the direction of the show will be the third reason. Now, if you're still here, you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Click that like button, check out the other content, and as always, y'all be easy. Be safe. Peace.